Dear students, in the previous sessions we come to know the different classification of costs and what are the benefits or drawbacks of cost accounting system. So in this session we try to elaborate the perform of cost sheet for the period. So cost sheet format analysis ಮಾಡೋಣ. So this is the basic format ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು to doing the preparation of cost sheet. So ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಈ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೇಜರ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈನ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್, ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್, ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಡಿಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟು, ಇದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್. ಸೊ when we start with basic format of any cost sheet, so you should take down three columns: particulars, total cost and cost per unit. So total cost and cost per unit ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, in the question they have given number of units, so with total cost divided by number of units will get cost per unit ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1000 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, if you have units of 100, so 1000 divided by 100 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ನಾಟ್ ದೇರ್, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ನೆಸರಿ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಎನಿ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, it starts with opening stock of raw materials. Any opening stock of raw materialsನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೂರೇ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಕಾಲಮ್. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ the cost sheet starts with opening cost of raw materials. For that, add purchases, add expenses and purchases, less closing stock of raw materials. You should directly write outer column the amount. So opening stock, you have the following adjustments irutte. Any opening stock of raw materials you have to take it in the initial stage. Initial stage ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. For that, add purchases, add expenses and purchases, less closing stock of raw materials ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. This is the adjustment regarding to opening stock of raw materials. So after deducting the closing stock, you should just write the mind balance to the total cost column. ಇದು ಒಂದು item. Then cost of materials consumed, direct wages, direct expenses. So you have to take all four items. So basically what we call it as prime cost ಅಂತೀವಿ. So prime cost is the cost consisting of all prime cost, direct materials, direct wages and raw materials consumed. So the aggregate cost of all direct costs, the aggregate cost of all direct costs what we consider as prime cost ಅಂತೀವಿ. So now first cost is start ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ you should pick out from the given information, you should pick out all direct informations. So along with that, any opening stock of raw materials is there, you have to take into here. In that, any closing stock of raw materials is there, you have to take account into here only. So opening stock adjustments ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಬರೋದು. Opening stock of raw materials, add purchases, add expense and purchases, less closing stock. In case purchases expense ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, opening stock less closing stock ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. because closing stock ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, directly should write the opening stock into account. So this is what we consider as aggregate cost of all direct cost. ನಾವೇನಂತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್, ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ಸ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಈವನ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ PDF in groups now. You just copy the detailed cost sheet of the format. So for that, add factory overhead. So factory overhead ಅಲ್ಲಿ you have a list of items ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ what are the items related to factory overhead have to take out into here. So again, add opening stock of work in progress, less closing stock of work in progress. You have three types of stocks ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Opening stock ಒಂದು, opening stock of work in progress ಒಂದು, opening stock of finished goods ಒಂದು. ಸೊ ಮೂರನ್ನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಎನಿ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್, ಆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡ್ಸ್, ಲೆಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್, ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಎನಿ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದರೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದರೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓವರ್ಹೆಡಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. After adding factory overhead, opening stock of work in progress and less closing stock of work in progress, what you get is factory cost or work cost ಅಂತ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. So for prime cost, if you add the factory overheads, what you get? For prime cost, if you had the factory overheads, what you get work cost ಅಂತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಡ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್, ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಿಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಎನಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಟೇಷನರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಂದರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಔಟ್ ಇಂಟು ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ in this class you just learn what are the headings will come in a cost sheet. Main headings. Detailed cost sheet will go with one more session. Explain next after explaining this we'll go with detailed explanation of cost sheet. So for factory cost, if you had administrative overhead, you will get what? Cost of production. So after cost of production, what you should do, add opening stock of finished goods less closing stock of finished goods. Any finished goods ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ after cost of production you should add opening stock and you should deduct closing stock. So what you get finally? Cost of goods sold. So after cost of goods sold, add selling and distribution overhead, you will get cost of sales. So cost of goods sold ಗೆ add selling and distribution add ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ cost of sales heading ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. So cost of sales heading ಅಲ್ಲಿ in case in the question they have given sales less cost of sales, you will get profit or loss. Positive means profit, negative means loss. This is the simple cost sheet format. So basic details, that means the details will be common in every cost sheet. So in case the items are kottilla andre, you should not going to worry about it, you should ignore that one. So yeah, in case the items are kottida, you should especially in this format highlights the only that opening stocks. Any opening stock of raw materials you are going to take in initially in prime cost ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂತೀರಾ, opening stock of raw materials less closing stock of raw materials. Any work in progress factory overhead ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂತೀರಾ, add opening stock of work in progress less closing stock of work in progress. And any finished goods you should take after cost of production, add opening stock of finished goods less closing stock of finished goods. So just try to remember these three adjustments: opening stock of raw materials, work in progress and finished goods. So when the format you come to, you should take all direct cost in prime cost only. After adding all direct cost, what you will get? Prime cost. So for the prime cost, add factory overheads, you will get factory cost. For the factory cost, add administrative overhead, you will get cost of production. For the cost of production, add in if you have closing stock of finished goods adjustment, you will get cost of goods sold. For that, add selling and distribution overhead, you will get cost of sales. Cost of sales. From that you will get profit, or loss. So in case in the question they have given profit, in case from the question they have given profit, so from the cost of sales you will add profit, you will get sales. So in case they are in the question they have directly given sales less cost of sales, you will get the profit or loss. So ನೀವು ಡಿಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. The consisting of all direct materials, direct labor and direct cost, direct expenses, what we consider as prime cost ಅಂತೀವಿ. The consisting of all direct materials, direct labor and direct expenses, what we consider as prime cost. For that prime cost, add factory overheads, will get factory cost. For that factory cost, add administration overhead, will get cost of production. For the cost of production, you will add selling and distribution overhead, will get total cost or cost of sales. So this is what we consider as components of total cost or components of elements of cost sheet. Basic highlights ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ನ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. In that any of adjustments that we'll see. This is the basic elements of the cost sheet. Prime cost means consisting of all direct expenses, that is direct material, direct labor and direct expenses. Work cost means prime cost plus factory overhead, that is what we consider as work cost. And cost of production means work cost plus administrative overhead. And total cost or cost of sales means cost of production plus selling and distribution overhead. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತೀವಿ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲುಕ್ ಔಟ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಟೇಲ್. Cost sheet is defined by CIMA UK as a document which provides for the assembly of detailed cost center or cost unit. Now previous class I learned the cost center, it's consisting of different elements of a costing areas. So a detailed cost sheet alli namge explain what are the different costs are involved, that is what we consider as cost sheet antivi.